Let's begin. It's the win. Listen, laugh, and learn and understand. Hope, believe that you can. It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.
Welcome to the Win Show. We are so glad you joined us. I'm Paula Fellingham, CEO of the Women's Information Network, thewinonline.com. We're the online home for all women, all ages, a community of women helping women. Our hosts are Heather Anderson, she's runner-up for Miss USA. Laura Lee Christensen is the Executive Vice President of the WIN, and Kim Coles is an actress, comedian, and speaker. Our guest today is Ilene Dillon. She's a family therapist, and with her co-host, Daki Fox, they have two programs, Taking My Turn and Building Conscious Families. They've been friends for decades and dedicated to living consciously and helping women soar. Ilene has been married, she's been single, she's been a stepmother, and she's an adoptive mother to 6 children. Welcome to the show. We're so glad you are here.
That is amazing. Okay, I want to hear more about your show, Taking My Turn, and how does it really apply and affect women?
Well, we decided to do Taking My Turn as a forum for women who were in their midlife, who've already started their careers and had their children, and now are in a position to have their turn.
That makes sense.
And to bring out who they are as magnificent human beings and really work to be themselves in the world. And we have set it up to co-create it with them so that people come to us, and on the radio program we have a line that we've set up so that people can come in and tell us what they have done to take their turn, what they are challenged to take as their turn, what help they need in taking their turn. And we want to offer the kind of support that we know we can offer to awaken the powerful feminine spirit in our experience as human beings.
Wow, this is going to be so inspiring as they get to hear from each of these women who are in all different sets of circumstances.
So it's not just us, the hosts, it's the audience as well.
Do some women have a hard time saying, it's my turn now? Is this difficult?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially midlife women. I find I have stepdaughters, of course, who have no trouble at all.
Oh, no.
And my adoptive daughter, I told her at one point I probably had overdone her being assertive.
A little too much. Yeah, a little too assertive.
Now,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm curious about you have 2 shows, and the other one, Building Conscious Families.
Right.
You're presenting kind of a new paradigm for families. Right. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know that we have consciousness now. That's one of the things that is different about human beings now than has been the case in all of human history, is that we're conscious. We know that we create our own experiences. We know that we manifest our own lives.
Yes, we've learned
and so what we say on Building Conscious Families is that consciousness is what we are all about. And so most parents have not been raised to be conscious. In fact, most of us adults are just learning about how to be conscious. And much less have they learned how to parent in a conscious way. And it's probably pretty daunting for many people. And so we set up Building Conscious Families so that we could offer what we know, but it's not just what we know because we're co-creating. And we also are asking people to grow with us, to have a process of discovering what really the paradigm, the model for families of the future really is going to be.
I love that. So
I was going to say, you also, go ahead, your turn.
You're fine. No, I was just
it's my turn.
That's my turn.
I was just hoping she could tell the girlfriends there who are watching, what are some tips? How do you teach them to parent consciously as opposed to unconsciously? What are some of the ways that show that I'm parenting consciously?
Well, it shows up in the children, actually, because children who are raised consciously are independent, they make their own decisions, they're self-confident, they're immune to peer pressure. Ooh, and at the same time that that's going on, the parent doesn't have the usual pressures of parenting.
Wow.
How do they get immune to peer pressure.
That's intriguing.
going to
Every
say,
parent's
that
going to be
really is.
tuning in.
Like every child will be tuning in.
Well, the old way of parenting had to do with I'm going to teach you how to deal with a particular a situation when you run into it, and this is what you do and this is what you don't do. Well, as I was raising my children as a single parent, I thought there are going to be experiences that my children have that I don't know anything about. I can't even imagine them right now. So how do I prepare them for those situations? And I decided I needed to prepare them internally so that they had something inside of them to refer to. So it's a combination of using what I know of or what we know of, Daki Fox, my co-host, and I, as spiritual principle. And it also has a really strong component of teaching your children to make choices and to learn from those choices.
I love it.
There's a whole process that goes on.
By making these choices, they are immune to the peer pressure, people trying to force them, other young people who are trying to force their values on them because they're so grounded. And they make a conscious choice not to or...
Well, my signature story really is my son, when he was 8, got caught stealing a candy bar at the 7-Eleven. And when he came home, I said, well, I hear that this is the day you decided to learn about stealing. And he told me... He told me that stealing wasn't worth it, and I asked him how he got into doing it, and he said there were 2 boys that had suggested it to him, and they did it, except he got caught and they didn't. And I said, well, you mean there were these 2 voices outside of you that you listened to and you did what they said? Was there any other voice that you heard? And he said, yeah, I think so. Whose voice was that? What did it say? And he said, well, I think it was my voice, and it said, don't do it. It's not a good idea.
That's a
love
great
that
You let him
conversation.
figure it out, though. I love
Yes.
that you talked to him, you asked him questions, so your 8-year-old could say, well, yeah, I did.
Those are good questions.
So I asked him then, okay, so you listened to the 2 voices from outside, but you didn't listen to the voice coming from inside. Tell me, if you could go back and live today over again, would you make the same choice or would you make a different choice? And he said, I would make a different choice. From now on, I'll listen to the voice coming from inside of me and not listening to voices coming from outside of me. And that's when I was able to tell him, if you learned all of that, then I think you had a very valuable
Very good day.
and I'm proud of you.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you said, this is the day you decided to learn about stealing.
Well, it's a lesson that has to be learned.
Very objective.
I did check with him when he was 14 about whether he'd ever stolen again, because he gave me permission to tell that story. And he said, no, I never stole again, but I have lied a few times.
More lessons to learn.
I love
Well,
that.
there's always things to learn.
Is this part of the sacred dimensions of life? Or
Well,
is it something different?
Well, the whole sacred idea is that we, Daki Fox and I, are using a model that our earth is a big giant school and that we all come here in order to grow and learn. And we get our homework assignments in our childhoods. So whether we're talking about taking my turn or doing building conscious families, we're all in the process of learning. So what we hope is that with taking my turn, we're getting people to start doing, bringing the spiritual dimension into their individual lives, but that's usually a relearning. And with building conscious families, what we're doing is helping children to retain their ability to stay in contact with themselves and their consciousness and their spiritual self, the soul that's inside of them. So that's how
Something
the
for
2
everybody.
go together.
Can't
Yes.
you just tell
What
that
a
we
good
have so
teacher
much
she
to
is.
learn?
Yes.
Oh, we have loved being with you. Thank you
you.
so much. You have so much to share.
Thank
and I'm
you.
so glad you have 2 shows because they are quite different and they'll be wonderful.
And
Thank
yet they support.
They
sure
do.
do.
Absolutely.
another.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And we invite everyone to visit thewinonline.com where you're going to get wonderful solutions like this and share your good ideas and really connect with women worldwide. Now let's live joyfully with passion and purpose and have a wonderful day.
It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.